All right, welcome to the T-ROH show. We got one more rebuttal to what I refer to as the Jay and Paula Sullivan shit show. We got some things today that I love catching a liar. That's just one thing I love to do. And everybody knows that from the T-ROH show. I like catching people doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or trying to hide something that they shouldn't be doing. Well, today is one of those days. I'm going to play the National Assembly recording where I was accused of ordering the uh, Continental Army to kill black racists. I have that audio. Okay. The National Assembly. I'm going to play that here in probably about 15 minutes. We have other things that we need to cover before we do that, because each and every one of these videos they throw out a lot of propaganda. What I mean by propaganda is that once you come up with an issue and accuse somebody of something, and that person proves you wrong, which is what's been done, like the ROH trust, like we did in the last video. ROH trust is not my personal trust, and we do not take estates. He keeps going with the same lie. Jay does. He'll keep repeating it over and over again. That's propaganda. Okay. And he keeps calling the temple a cult, that I demanded that he bow to me so I would go before the Father and speak on his behalf as a high priest. Complete and total lie. That was proven in the last video. So what you do is you drop that and you move forward. If you don't have an honorable claim, you have no honor. If somebody is overcoming your claim as a lie, you drop it and you move on. But the problem is that the whole trust thing, the private trust, and that the United States of America is in a trust, which it is not. And we have said this over and over again with Anna, that it's not in a trust in any way, shape, or form. That is the truth. This is a public broadcast. When I'm saying that means I can't hide it. I'm not lying. If I say I don't have a claim on a video and it's open to the public, that's an official statement. I don't have it. I don't have claim to any of that. I wouldn't know how to take an estate. He's claiming Rufo died. I think Rufo died in the hospital. It was over a COVID issue. And claimed that I went and got his estate. How do I do that? His estate, according to our laws, goes to the next of kin. How would the coroner come up with some kind of death certificate and say, okay, now we're going to go take the estate? Like I have some inside knowledge of the U.S. Treasury. Like I'm able to go to the Treasury and say, here, let's just take everything he's got. How do you do that? Why would they do that if there was something there? They would say, no, we need the next of kin, right? That's how it works. Because everything goes to the next of kin. What is it? I walk up to him and you're going to give me that estate. I own it. Come on. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous, outrageous claim that can't be proven, right or wrong. That's called propaganda. How can I prove that I don't take estates other than saying I don't take estates? And that's not true. That's
Can
called.
I just say something there?
Yeah, go ahead. It's propaganda is what it is.
Well, I've been in the attending temple, and we have a website, and on those websites, if you so wish, you can accept and acknowledge different things. They're all published there. It's all transparent. So I'm not sure what he was talking about, of some sort of social compact where we understand that if we disagree, we're going to be threatened with some kind of a our estates being taken away. It's unfounded lie. That is slander in any court. And maybe if you decide to do another video, I suggest you start that video with some hard evidence of that particular statement. I yield.
Right. And couldn't it be, folks, that if somebody's claim, oh, you need to go bow to Keith, the high priest, that and I've already said there's no high priest. Everybody that's a part of the temple said there's no high priest other than our and then Jesus that goes to the Father. Everybody has said that publicly.
You've never said that. I have never heard you say that you're high priest, and I think it's funny that he couldn't find that supposed message that someone says we need to go bow before you. He has no evidence of that. It never happened, and I'm sure everyone else here can witness to that. Has Keith ever said he's high priest in message or in anything?
Never, never.
Not at all.
Okay,
Where's
so
your
that
evidence?
issue is solved. I have never done that at all. So you don't keep coming out and saying it over and over that that's the truth. I can tell you it's a cult because of this, dash, and dash. You know, it's like, okay, what message did you get it from? If you got a message, let's just, you know, for kicks and giggles, state that what he's claiming is that he did get a message. Wouldn't it be something like from Sheila, who've been bashing the you know, mocking me all the time and bashing the temple the whole time she was here?
Well, that's just someone talking shit. Evidence is you saying it in writing. That's evidence, or you saying it in recording.
Yeah.
Someone else
Entertain
repeating
us.
it. Yeah, please show us the evidence.
Entertain
of
us
this.
with the evidence, please. Yes.
Right. And if you have no evidence, you don't just keep repeating it, because that's called Marxist propaganda. That's what Hitler did. He just kept repeating the same thing. And people began to believe it after a while. Or they just gave up. Yeah, okay. Shut up, you know?
Well, to add on to this too, they're claiming that they were being persecuted in our temple based on our beliefs because their beliefs didn't match our beliefs. Well, why are you in our temple? You don't walk into someone else's you know, organization or belief system wherever they're worshiping and try to change their beliefs. You don't do that to people. And then say you're getting persecuted because they're not believing the same beliefs as you. Who does that? If you're coming to our temple and we're sharing truth that we've received to you, or sharing that truth to you, and you get offended, that's your own problem. Just go away.
It means you go find a church that are aligned with your beliefs. That's how it works. You go find a church or a temple that's aligned with your beliefs. You don't go in there, yeah, just like she's saying, try to change everybody's mind. And when people say no, you're persecuting us. Because I've never seen people so hard up to make themselves a victim than I have these two, Paula Sullivan and Javon Spreck. They're always the victims when they're the aggressors. We have 450 pages in a zip file of them talking behind our back, lying, cheating, trying to set us up for the big downfall. Mr. Gibbs knows about that because he was the one that showed us. Okay. And everybody knows that. And I thank him for that, for doing it. That was an honorable thing to do, because what these people were doing was dishonorable. They were going to take us down. What Continental Army or what army says we're going to take the government down with no proof of any wrongdoing, no evidence of anything? Well, they have all these documents, and then so Paula Sullivan comes in and says, oh, well, I can interpret those. I find these hidden meanings in what they're writing.
I know how to read.
I know how to read and comprehend. And I'm like, what do you mean secret hidden meanings? Like what? Like we're some kind of Masonic lodge or some crap. That's what she's trying to propagandize. She's trying to put it out there that that's what we're doing. She is doing everything she can do to take the attention off of her. And Jay's doing the same thing. He's always a victim. I'm going to prove this and prove that. Da, da, da. No, you're just talking. You talked for an hour and 14 minutes. They put a video on talking about taking out Dan's knees, Dan Sullivan's kneecaps. Okay. Yeah, damn right we said that, because the man was stealing $105 million. Those we have our own coins. We have a UCD coin like Bitcoin and a GPU coin like Bitcoin. Those coins are being mined. We're not putting them out for trade. They're being mined right now. MINED. I didn't say they were mine, MINE. I'm saying they're being mined like coal, okay? Or gold or silver. We're mining the coins. And that is earmarked towards when the Federal Reserve pulls their BS on this social scores and all this kind of crap. We're going to put that out because it's peer-to-peer. They can't take down the internet because they need people to do the social score thing. And they can't. So this is out there to make sure people have some money outside of that system. It's the same thing with our continental dollars. Our continental dollars are being hosted offshore. Everything's being hosted offshore, away from here. The GPU coins are earmarked for that, have a supply of money so people can use it. That's what it's for. I didn't want Dan Sullivan in charge of that. He would hold it hostage from everyone because he was holding it hostage from us. Okay. So that's why, that's that conversation you heard. We were pissed. That sumbitch was stealing from everyone, the people, everybody. So luckily, a week later, our Father in heaven thought it necessary to go ahead and make it to where we did have control over both coins, and now we do. Because I was praying about it. Everybody else was praying about it. That this man was stealing. He's stealing control. That's what he was doing. So yeah, made everybody mad. We've been working our butt off to try to get that done. So before this whole crash thing comes through and it gets too bad, we can go ahead and release the other coins and say, here, we have no control over those coins. Once they're out there and once they're in other wallets, we have zero control, zero claim, everything. Just like it was when Bitcoin started. Bitcoin started out exactly like that, to keep it out of banker control. Okay, that's what that's about. That's what that video was about. The other video, when I'm talking about, we're going to do this for another 3 or 4 years, or 2 or 3 years, and then we're done. We're done messing with this. So they're saying he promised us to do all this, and then he's changed his mind. So there, see? No, what's going on is this. And believe me, that's a recording. I stand behind that statement because everybody has talked about it. We've had the same problems with people like Jay and Paula Sullivan doing the same thing, undermining everything we're doing, screwing with us, and saying, oh, well, we wrote it down, so it must be, we were being full and transparent. No, you weren't. You weren't saying a word. Because if that was the case, it would have been reported on the National Assembly, and no one ever reported it. So what's going on is real simple. We keep getting hijacked like these people are doing. They don't mention that they're stealing our seal. They don't mention in any of their videos that they're stealing the Human Rights Tribunal seal. They don't ever mention that, because that doesn't look good for them. So they ignore the truth and then keep on with the propaganda lies, even after the lies have been destroyed. Now today, Jay's word is going to be destroyed, but not by me, but by Jay. Jay is going to do this, not me. So there were some other things. By the way, here's saying that I have power of attorney for everybody. Here's my interdimensional mutual and reciprocal power of attorney, giving Yeshua, Jesus Christ, true son of Elohim, as my attorney in fact. Right here. Acceptance and acknowledgement of understanding. General revocation, hereby revoke any and all general powers of attorney and special powers of attorney that previously have been signed or either expressed or implied through forced association or otherwise. Okay? Now, this is available to everyone in the temple that want to do this.
That's pretty cool.
Chris showed me the other day, and we got to get back on the temple to find out where that is, because a bunch of people signed them and they gave power of attorney to Jesus. Here's the and Jesus came and spoke unto them, saying, all power is given to me in heaven and on earth. Matthew 28. Am I reading that right? Yeah, 28:18. Okay. Now, this is all power of attorney. It's all legal.
Why are we continually labeled as a cult when we have Jesus as our king and no other church is called a cult? I don't understand that. They have a pastor, they have a priest. That's not any kind of high priest or leader. They're not accusing him of being a high priest or leader. We have a priest, and we're accused of being a cult. And then he's blamed forced into well, they keep calling him a high priest. Like, why is that? I don't understand that.
When I call Jesus the high priest, there's only one high priest.
We all do.
Yeah. But we keep saying that, but they keep saying the difference. They keep doing that. It's called fascist propaganda. He's doing propaganda. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get us to, they're going to try to bash us enough so that we will take down those affidavits against them, those intent to murder affidavits. Do you have that that evidence as to why we put those intent to murder?
Well, the main statement, yeah. Hold on one second.
All right, let's see it.
Okay. Okay, so this was from my affidavit of intent to murder, and it was based on this comment kind of sparked it, and that JSO is J. There's his image. Communism or any other form of government other than a republic will not be allowed within the government of the United States of America. The Continental Army has launched an investigation into communist sleeper cells that have infiltrated the Continental Army and government of the United States of America. As Continental Army members, we must hold ourselves to the highest professional standards, and we must prosecute communism with extreme prejudice. Any Continental Army member of government or government official found guilty of communism, espionage, treason, and war crimes will be put to death. Govern yourself accordingly. And then he went along calling us all communists.
That's right.
So he right here put notice that he intends to murder communists, and then later on he starts calling us communists. All of them do. All of the prior Continental Army members.
Okay, now when you do that, folks, that's called terrorism. That's called terrorism, is what it is. It's an act of terrorism. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to scare all of the government officials and members and everything else into changing. If you don't do this, we're going to murder you. If you don't allow the Continental Army to take over, we're going to murder you. That's exactly what that is. Those are terrorist acts. That notice was a terrorist act. He doesn't, I guess he doesn't see it or doesn't care. Okay,
So,
but it is what it is.
one of their claims is that we're withholding the states of the union from them. And a comment you made about putting the I believe it was a certain county or something back into trust because no one was moving forward with it. Because everything they do or put their hands on, they just completely destroy or hijack, like the Continental Army, or like Pima County. where Paula will come in and on that last video that we're replying to right now, she's like, well, we spent all this time writing up the document and they wouldn't help us at all. And then there was errors in it. And then turns around and calls us all dictators.
Yeah, and
that we're
I was
controlling them.
called a control freak.
I think Naomi has more input on this because she was, she put a lot of work into the Pima County Assembly.
Yeah, the efforts that Paula is stating that she did is very skewed because she was never an office holder for the Pima County Assembly when the Pima County Assembly Constitution was brought forth and published. Yes, her signature is on that document, but she is not even an office holder.
Can you see my screen? This
Yeah.
is the Pima County Assembly Constitution. There's Anna Marie, Aaron, and Naomi, and no one would step up for this spot. She
Right, no.
shows up just to have a face.
So what she's saying is that we wouldn't release the states out of trust to 9 people. So you're going to put 9 people in charge of the state. So what do you got? Oh, I'm sorry, you got yourself a fascist regime that's taken over. Then now all the people that you don't even know that you guys are there, or you even exist, you actually have authority over them, and you're going to start running their lives. Now, how much do you think they would like that? So what we were trying to get them to do, this is what the deal was. We finally got them to a constitution. So we got that far. That's still there. What they're supposed to do is write these notices over to the county commissioners, stating that these particular statutes that the legislature have been passing are not constitutional or they're a violation of human rights. So they're not going to be recognized nor enforced in Pima County. How hard is that? Nobody would sign anything. Why? They're too scared. Oh, that's going to put a target on me.
After
Like-
the call that we had regarding the addressing the statutes within the counties, that's when we lost our chairman, which was Anna Maria. And then that's when the assembly was at a standstill.
Right. So they destroyed their own assembly and then blamed us for it because I wasn't a dictator enough, right?
Correct.
And you weren't a dictator enough, and nobody else was a dictator enough. Yet we're dictators.
So stupid.
Self-governing is not in this in the thinking of Paula Sullivan and Jay von Spreck. People were supposed to self-govern. They're not doing it. So now
Same thing with the army.
Yeah.
They were given an opportunity to build up the army, neighbors helping neighbors, not go in and shoot your own foot or turn around and attack what created it. Like, that makes no sense. They spent all their time this last year looking for all of our errors. Anywhere they could possibly find an error, that's where they spent their time.
So they wouldn't have to do what they were told to do, which means
Yeah, and
they're anti-government.
let's remind everybody that they're the ones they actually started that secret chat, and they turned around most of people they were in the army, and now they telling everyone they are the victims. They're the one they started all this. Nobody went after them. They went after people.
Yeah, we weren't actually doing anything towards them. I was watching them. I was still watching to find out, find more evidence of what all the crap that was going on. And all of a sudden they said, I'm reading this feed on Telegram from all these people. Yeah, don't say anything. We're going to take them down. Don't do this because we're going to take them down. Okay, which means there was already a trial. They'd already decided what was going to happen. and they were going to execute it and take us down. Then they turn around and say, oh, well, this is, they don't have any due process. You're just guilty when you're guilty. Well, duh. What do you guys think you just did? That's what you did to us. Then when we defend ourselves, we're like third graders. Go ahead.
We have a history of everything that we're talking about here, their false accusations, our rebuttals, evidence, our evidence. They haven't provided a single thing for evidence. It's all just hearsay. It's all opinions. It's all emotions. All of what they're doing is emotion driven. They're offended that we are all self-determined people and they can't live up to that. And so what happened is they took all the people that were not self-determined and ruled over them. Because that's what people like that do. They want to rule over and enslave others. Like what Howard was trying to do with the property purchase and selling back water rights, which should have just been given to everyone who went in on that land.
Yeah, Howard was actually trying to get people to grow food so he could take the natural water, trade that with them while they're working their butt off growing food. So all Howard had to do was just, oh, well, the water was here, so I'll give you the water that I have rights to and own, and then you grow my food for me. We'll trade. That's what Howard was doing. Who's out there doing all the work? It wasn't Howard. That's the way it works.
Isn't that what the bankers did?
That's exactly what they did. The zip file's on there, right?
What we're trying to leave, the one with the of their chat. No, but I will put it up there.
Okay,
all of our affidavits have like a lot of it, so I didn't really put that up there, but we can.
Yeah, let's do it. It's 450 pages of treason and lying and everything they could do and bashing.
Evidence.
It shows you who they really are behind closed doors. And believe me, we're not bashing, we're telling the truth. And they call it bashing. All right. So they what do they say? They hate truth, don't they?
Yeah, you made a good point. That what they're doing is virtue signaling. I didn't see that side of all of this, like in a bigger picture. But that's pretty much what they're doing. They're trying to make themselves appear as righteous.
Right. So they'll say this. They'll say, Keith sent a message to me to bow down to him. Well, that's not true. None of it's true. And then Paula Sullivan jumps in and says, I would never become or be in front of somebody and their God. I would never try to interfere with that relationship. Well, either would I, Paula. But you take a bash and a lie on me, then you turn around and try to turn it into virtue signaling like you give a damn and like you're some kind of religious woman. And believe me, you're not. Everybody knows that.
Not even close.
You'd run away from the Father in a heartbeat.
They accept source and nature's God as versions of God, and this nature's God is what we're seeing with that new 10 commandments that they put up.
The earth worship, yeah.
Yeah, you go follow those gods. Good luck. Good luck with that, Paula.
Yeah. So that's not bashing, Paula. That's saying that you need to stop virtue signaling on a lie. You need to stop kissing the public's ass with a lie. That's what the Democrats do right now. They kiss the public's ass with a total bullshit lie. Jay, you know that we've already proven you wrong on a private trust, that the United States of America is in a trust. And yes, we did claim the original 1775 General Post Office and brought it forward to the present time. We did claim the original Union of 1774 and bring it forward to the present time. We did claim the Continental Army and bring it forward to the present time. And we did claim the government back then and brought it forward to the present time. Don't let anybody talk you or say otherwise, as that's exactly what happened. We have not lied for 10 years. We've not put our lives on the line over something like that. You don't lie to the public like that.
Oh, he keeps telling, he repeated this like, man, 5 times. He's like, there's only 18 GPMs and there's the supposed a bunch of American nationals and no one ever shows up on the Monday call. It's like, dude, who goes to the government meetings in any country? Like nobody goes to the government meetings. It's how it's the government operating. It's like, who cares unless you're involved? So yeah, not a lot of people show up to the government meetings. It's like 40, 50 people. There's, 3,000-4,000 people out there that really don't care. They just want to be left alone. But if they don't show up, they don't exist. Whatever, dude.
Okay.
Idiot.
Why I was arrested in, they always bring up the Shelby County thing every single time. Anybody wants to bash Keith, or he's got an arrest warrant in Shelby County. Okay, they come up with that, right? Okay. Every single time. It was over a traffic ticket. It's over a driver's license. It's all it's over, folks.
You're such a criminal.
A big criminal. However, that's the front part. The back part of that was over the claims of the metes and bounds of the country. They were trying to force me into giving those up and offering. They even tried to make an appointment with me and a federal agent, so I'd give them the claims. That's what it was really about. There was also another guy who was motivated to do this, where they were running drugs out of the local car dealership. He's running it in his cars back and forth to Miami. That was another faction of this that happened. So they had 2 counties coming in on me at the same time because I had 2 tickets in Louisville. So they came down on me hard, man. They still didn't get those metes and bounds. That was so people like you, Jay, could benefit from that. That you could have the metes and bounds of your country. But you blew that, didn't you? And so did you, Paula Sullivan and Dan Sullivan. All of you
That's
did.
funny. That's hilarious how he keeps posting your arrest.
Yeah, they all do it.
But they never share what you arrested for. Yet Jay has a very big history of domestic violence and assault charges. And when you pull up his record, why don't you share that, Jay? Share your record.
Yeah, share your domestic violence record, buddy.
Oh, by the way, you guys all here on the call are all criminals, according to Jay. You all have records of criminal activity.
Well, I guess if you're in the ghetto, then that makes sense.
We're all from the ghetto, Naomi. All of
Yeah.
us.
All I can say is prove it. Prove it.
Please.
He keeps saying, he's saying Charter of the American Continent. Okay, folks, he keeps saying it's evil. It's so evil.
Therefore it is.
Therefore it is, because Jay said it. All right, here is the Charter of the American Continent. So I'm going to show you what it is. And it's out there, talked about it in the T-ROH show. He acts like it's a big secret. But it's talked about, it's the T-ROH show. We talk about it we talked about it a couple of times. We were bringing the original Union of 1781 was transferred to the Congress of the Confederation of Nation States in 2012, is hereby transferred to the Charter of the American Continent, December 2014. The intent of the original Union was to form a continental union. The original Union was not intended to form an international United Nations, wherein other countries would write, vote, and decide the fate of the American continent, nor regulate its people. If the other 6 continents have the authority to decide its own fate, the American continent has the same right. That is so communist, man. That's so terrible. That's what he's calling it. He's calling it a communist thing. But if he says it in a different tone, it sounds like that, but it's not. So what this for is that when the states, if the people ever get and put their states together, they would sign this instead of the U.S. Constitution, because the U.S. Constitution led everybody right to a United Nations and a devil worshiping system that celebrates pedophilia and all the rest. Okay, so this was to make the American continent itself independent, with all the trade and commerce that we could do between these countries, which is what the charter's for. To bring everybody together to the table, and the General Post Office in the United States of America, we're going to run the messages back and forth as a post office. Nothing wrong with it. That's it. So anybody can read this. I think we have it on the National Great Registry.country. We've got all of our stuff there. It's all sitting there wide open. And when Jay, they were looking around, all you had to do was just ask us where all the paperwork is. It's on the National Great Registry.
They started in their private chat. Did you download all the files from the registry like it's some private archive?
Like we were hiding it, and he goes, bingo, we got him. As if we were just hiding stuff and it's a big conspiracy. It was just a shit show, and that's why I call them shit show. Because they, bingo, we got him. Get all the documents. Get them, take them down. You can have all the documents you want. Everything we wrote, everything we did, no problem. It was out there in the public. Why? Because it wasn't a private trust. It was always public. Now
It's
that we've
also
overcome your
tipped.
private trust stuff, watch in the next video, Jay will say again, they've been raping the states in a private trust, and the United States of America is in a private trust. Okay? He's going to say the same thing because he's putting propaganda videos out to try to pressure us into taking down affidavits against them. That's what they're doing. They even tell you, oh, we'll negotiate. No problem. Yeah, we'll negotiate. We don't negotiate with terrorists. And we're going to leave those judgments and liens up just because I know it pisses you off. What's up?
We don't care what you say, Jay and Paula, because if anyone believes what you say, you can keep them. Like, they can go hang out with you, because we want real people who actually think for themselves and investigate things with evidence and not just believe what they hear. So keep them. Whoever believes you, we don't care.
They're all yarn. Because then we don't have to deal with them. We don't have to have this BS going on. Okay? In the name of its people, the nation, states, and countries represented on the American continent. There it is. And believe it or not, folks, this kind of changes the way you think, because Mexicans are Americans. That's what people don't get. On the call, they're called illegals. Not that I'm saying I agree with borders being open. That's a different story. I don't agree with that. Okay, but Mexican folks, people from Mexico, those are Americans. Brazilians, those are Americans. Peru, Ecuador, they're all Americans. So people need to understand that, and that's why you've been isolated as when you were called U.S. citizens. You've been isolated from the rest of the continent. And it scares people to death to open it up to the rest of the continent and say, hey, maybe we can all work together here. Okay? They already have another agreement, but the problem is they're under the United Nations, and it's full of drug activity. I can't remember the name. OAS, I think it's Organization of American States. And it's drug ridden, man. It's got nothing but cartel all over it. Okay. So, and that's the United Nations thing. So this was to separate us from the other continents. It was not to put us under the New World Order, as Jay is saying. Why? Because Jay is exercising interpretation rights that he doesn't have. The only one that has interpretation rights when things are written are the people that wrote it. They know what they meant. That's why they interview people that write books, is to ask them, what did you mean when you wrote this? And what did you mean when you said this in your book, page this, this, and this? You see, you guys are taking privileges and rights that you don't have. Paula Sullivan, you do not have the right to interpret anything that was written. Well, there's secret hidden meanings. That's just all hearsay and conspiracy crap. The problem is that we are who you say that we are who we say we are, and you can't stand that because you're not a part of it. You're not a part of it, and that's it. And that irritates the crap out of you. I can hear it in your voices. Jay is so jealous that he's not on the National Assembly. It drives him nuts. Okay. Now, getting to that, have we covered everything that we needed to talk about?
I'm good. Anyone else?
Anybody else need to say anything before we move on to the recording? Nope. Okay.
I'm ready for the truth.
All right. So here it is. Let me go find it here.
So this video, you're showing to oppose what he keeps repeating, right? Regarding the wanting to kill or commanding someone to kill. What was it about again? That he was claiming.
He was claiming that, and this is the 7/18, 2022 video. This is American National Assembly. It was on 7/18/2022. You can see the date in the bottom right of it. And he was claiming that I ordered the Continental Army. And then you know how Paula Sullivan is. She goes in and starts saying, I was just appalled. I'm not this. She starts virtue signaling again, right? I'm not even military trained. How could we do this? Claiming that I told them to go in and kill black racists. They're going to go in there and murder them or shoot them or Molotov cocktail them. You know, that's what he was saying. And that's a pretty serious thing. You're going to affect somebody's life when you start claiming that kind of horseshit. Okay? Because that's fully not true. I didn't do that. You're going to hear it right here in just a few seconds. Okay? There's no way I would say something like that. All right? So what I was upset about is, and you'll hear it in here, I was upset that people were being killed with a traffic cone. What a way to go, right? Killed by a traffic cone. And that this needs to stop. We got to find ways to make this stop. And that's what I was saying, but you'll hear that here in just a second. All right, so let me get this. There we go. I'm going to start this video where I started talking. Okay, so it's about 20 minutes or so, and then you're going to hear something that is hilarious. Okay, not funny in what he was saying, but it's going to prove that nobody was saying anything. Okay, except for Jay himself. All right. So if you can't see that Jay's a liar now after this, then you just need to stay away. Okay, we're just leave us alone. You don't need to have a nationality. Just go away. Okay, so here we go. All right, does everybody see that?
Yes.
That's all I.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is 3649. 3630. All right, this is where it is. I'll just start there.
Thing to add to those two topics. I think we'll have a discussion on Wednesday evening with General Postmasters about
everybody
those
hear
two
it?
topics. So, Will, anything?
All right.
Perfect.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. We got some issues here, man. I don't know if anybody wants to talk about them or not. Starting to get on my damn nerves.
Okay.
I saw a guy today, I think it was on Alex Jones. They got a 14-year-old girl beat the crap out of a 73-year-old man and killed him with a road cone. Y'all seen that?
Are you talking about like an orange cone?
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a traffic cone. I believe there were a few individuals, all teens, if I'm correct. I could be wrong.
Yeah, did y'all notice that?
I saw it.
Yeah. So
Okay. Are you getting tired of this black on white crime?
Yes.
Because I'm getting tired of it. It's been going on for 5 years, guys. Prosecutors don't do shit about it.
I believe George Soros is buying a lot of them.
That didn't sound right, Will. But anyway,
Paying them off.
yeah. Buying a lot of but I need to we need to address this somehow where in such a way that they can't come back and say, oh, you're racist for bringing it up, like it's okay. And I'm figuring in such a way that, you know, if they're going to keep doing that, I would rather be a racist than killed by a road cone. Just by saying something about it. But it's being attacked by all these young kids. And they're all black.
Lori Lightfoot has openly said, it's time to kill Whitey. Now, when somebody who's in her position makes that statement to her public, that's saying an awful lot about what she's willing to back.
Who's Lori Lightfoot?
Mayor of Chicago.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, the troll?
The troll.
Okay. Why don't we go after the troll?
It's
For
about
hate
time.
crimes.
Yeah.
Just been published that she's wanted for war crimes, her and Pritzker and Arwadi.
How about human rights violations and hate crimes? We all know she's New World Order.
Yep. Waiting for the New World Order to take over. Kill Whitey. Came right out of her office.
How about attempted murder and then declaring war against whites?
Right.
I like that.
Those are hate crimes. If we get her for attempted murder, that's more. They're not really worried about these war crimes. They don't like attempted murder. I've noticed that war crimes are kind of but attempted murder really gets to the heart.
Yeah, when you put it up there that way, and she's declared war on white people by her own words, and you post that up there as evidence, there's nothing much you can do about it, is there?
Yeah, well, y'all get where I'm coming from, right? I mean, this has been spreading all over the country. It's just getting ridiculous. Got a 14-year-old now. She's apparently going to be charged with murder. It won't. They're using young kids that and don't charge them as adults. And somehow, for some way, it's okay. But no one's doing anything to them. I mean, if we start going after them for hate crimes, you know, there might be a warning out there. If y'all don't stop this, the parents of these children are going to be living a very upset and violent life for the rest of their damn life. Like everywhere they turn, they get friggin' hit with cocktails and shit like that if they want to keep this shit up. because it's getting ridiculous. Because this shit goes both ways. It can go both ways. I'm not saying kill them, but we sure can harass the shiznit out of them until they stop it, and scare the living shit out of them. Because everywhere they go, you know, they've got cocktails coming after their asses. They want to go to war, go to war. There's no problem at all. That war will end in about 5-6 days. No problem whatsoever. So I'm just letting everybody know, and I'm starting to get pissed off about it. I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of watching it. I've been watching it for about 5 years now, and nothing's happening. Nothing's changing. It's all just getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't want to be sitting there getting harassed by a bunch of black dudes, black kids coming after me, starting beating me up. I'll shoot the shit out of them. No problems whatsoever. They're going to not walk for the rest of their life because I'm going to blow their damn kneecaps out. Now sue me for that. I should be able to, there's a thing in the United Nations, no matter how shitty that organization is, and it's a piece of shit organization, believe me. There's a thing called, you have a right to not have to live. Now, I don't live in fear, but live in concern. Because I can't feel fear, okay? But live in concern for that. You have a right to be left alone. Nobody bothers you. I don't bother anybody. I don't mess with them. I don't harass them. I don't give them the N-word. I don't when I'm driving, going by, you know, don't flip them off. Don't piss them off and all that stuff. Just leave them alone. But they're going after this 73-year-old man because he's white. It's the color of his skin. Now, if you want to bring the 60s and the 50s back, that's fine. No problem. We'll bring it back. But these people need to stop. Their parents need to stop it. Just killing people for no reason. There's one guy that was sitting there changing a tire in front of his house, and the guy just walks by and shoots him in the back. For no reason, didn't do anything, didn't piss him off, nothing. He did it because he's white. So I don't know about you guys. I can throw some T-ROHs out there. I don't give a shit what they call me at all. But it needs to stop because nobody's doing anything to them. Black people are being left alone. They're all being left alone. It was the cops that were killing them and not white people. Now the cops stopped killing them. They made their point. Everything's good. You're not going to get in power and all this other horse shit over one death. Not going to happen. Okay. So I don't get what's happening here, but this shit's got to go. Anybody else?
If you do a T-ROH, Keith, please let me be on it.
You want to be on that T-ROH?
About this, yes.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
They're doing the same thing that they're claiming is being done to them.
Yeah, and nothing's being done to them.
Right. I'm getting backlash from the black community for not supporting the black community.
You are?
Yes.
Supporting the black community in what?
Supporting the people, quote.
The people are supported. I don't understand what they want.
They just want to, I don't know, make a point. They want reparations. They've
been taught division and they're rolling with it.
Yeah, they are.
Reparations need to be explained to ignorant people. Ignorant people need to realize that reparations, everybody since 1933 has been enlisted as a slave in America.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Exactly, yep.
And everybody has been preyed upon. It's just at different levels and different games going on. There's not one clear group that has been singled out. Yes, there are some groups that spend more time in ghetto areas that are decrepit and decayed intentionally. But there's also, I live in a very interesting community up here in Indianapolis. You can have your decrepit, nasty places because people just don't give a shit. And then you've got these awesome neighborhoods that I would love to live in that are mostly black people. Now, what happened? Somebody took the responsibility. Somebody gave a shit. A lot of the suburbanites around the Indianapolis region, guess what? They're black and they're cool. They're cool. I've worked for 3 weeks for a black family, freaking cool family. So don't tell me it's all leveled at one skin color, group color. That ain't happening. Everybody has had the financial shit kicked out of them for the last 100 years, nearly. So, yeah, that reparations thing, that doesn't fly. It'll never happen, and I'll tell you why. Because the people that are bitching about it the loudest sit on their ass and do nothing. Absolutely frickin' nothing. And the people that could deserve more have been out busting their ass doing a great job, and they could deserve more. They could get more.
Well, the partner who started BLM is now in jail for donations fraud.
That's awesome.
Buying $6 million homes. We didn't do that. They did it. The people who started BLM. The other one, the one that really started, she came up with $13 million house. She took all of that money that all these poor people gave her and then went and bought a huge house, did nothing for them. But we didn't do that. Whitey didn't do it.
You know, they admit that the Marxists, the fat radical lesbians of BLM, they admit that they're Marxists openly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what a Marxist does. Takes for themselves.
Steals for everybody. Yeah, that's what communism, Marxism is take money from everybody else and spend it on yourself. That's all it is. There's nothing more to it.
So I don't understand why they're like surprised that that's what they did, because they told you what they were. And what I find interesting is that a lot of people that talk about this reparations is they're talking about something that Abe Lincoln had put out there. Most people don't understand. Right. But it's not in this nation. They don't understand that.
Everybody, that's Howard. So just so everybody knows, that's Howard Frederick Walker III, the one that wrote this stuff against us. So everybody want to know who's talking. That's him. The other one that goes, oh, like this, that's John Folks. They're being treated horribly, aren't they?
That's what they don't understand.
Yeah, he gave them reparations. Okay, out in history, every time a people are freed from a slave system, they go and start their own country. Every single time, except for here. But there's a country that they bought in Africa for people that wanted to go live there. So when the slaves were freed, go here. This is where you can go. And they were paying their way, and that was 40 acres and a horse, a mule. 40 acres and a mule. You've heard of this. That country is in Africa. That's why they have the United States flag over there. I don't know if anybody knew that.
Called Liberia.
Do what?
That's the name of the country, Liberia.
Liberia? Okay.
Yep. That's where most all nations register their steamships. Because insurance and all is cheap right there because it's under US.
Right. So they did the right thing. The states, everything, they all did the right thing. And that 40 acres and a mule was for over there, not here. And they were giving them money. They were giving them everything that was called reparations. It's all right there. And it's still there for the taking. If you don't like it here, take your ass over to Liberia. Free land, free everything.
Check your congressional record up there and find out how much money they get given every year to support that country over there. They get billions of dollars over there every year, Keith.
I know.
And the warlords take it and use it against the people.
If you're in, okay, imagine the Israelites staying in Egypt after they've been freed. You imagine that relationship? What that relationship would be like? So we got along very well between 1781 and 1787. They started coming in after that under the Constitution, started the segregation thing, started the whole white-black thing with the bathrooms and all that stuff, and churches. They started separating churches in Philadelphia and Boston. They started separating for white-black churches and all that. We had nothing to do with that. That was Europeans that were doing that. Because they wanted to set up the slave trade. So they had to separate the people. Everybody got along very well. Everyone was free after 1781, guys. And everyone owned land. There was no issues whatsoever. So I know it can happen. I'm not saying you have to do anything other than leave people for the hell alone. But this has been going on 5-6 years. This is murder. And it's not Whitey going in and putting bullets in children's heads. Those are drug dealers that are doing that. Even if the drugs are there, even if they're being put in there by the courts, by the CIA, by white people, that does not force you to go get the guns and start shooting people or get the drugs and start selling them. You can just simply go turn them into the cops and that's it. You get a bunch of cocaine. Holy shit. Okay, let's go bring this into the DEA. Look, guys, I think you dropped a load over here. Stop dropping that shit in our town. Get out of here. No one's forcing you to pick up those guns. No one's forcing you to sell those drugs. And we have already come up with the solution that the bankers are causing. And a lot of these things, why don't these people go after the damn bankers? They're the ones causing the shit. They're the ones in zoning, putting liquor stores in every corner. It's not the regular people. They don't have any power over that shit. We've got Continental Dollars, for everybody that wants to use them in their own towns and everything else. And they can tell the bankers go to hell. And that's enough. We've had enough of your bullshit. And it has to start at the local level. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep. They need
It's
to
a-
know who their enemy is, though, and it's the Democratic Party and the bankers, like you just laid out.
Exactly. Yeah. They quit going after 73-year-old men trying to go home.
Yeah, that's not the enemy.
And what kind of dignity is to sit there and get beat up by a freaking road cone? What the hell could the man have done to piss off this 14-year-old kid? What kind of piece of shit parents did she have? This is a girl. 14-year-old girl going and killing people with a road cone. And people just walking by and shooting people because they're color. They want to keep that up, and they'll be keeping up the Nazis. They'll be bringing the Nazis back, Nazi guys, skinheads, and friggin' KKK back, so people can protect themselves. Because it sure as hell ain't the Democratic Party doing it, or some other organization going over to black neighborhoods, terrorizing the shit out of them, just to shut them up and stop them from doing this kind of crap. So all they're doing is just leading to their own demise. Y'all know how people are.
Totally. Keith, I had this idea, hopefully we could go with it, that the 1890 Sherman Act, maybe we could piggyback off that somehow. Well, call them out, the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, because they just started this whole money monopoly without a social compact or anything. So, you know, we could start somehow like that. What do you think about going after the Federal Reserve? They're the ones printing out all this stuff with the Democrats' approval, right?
Because they'll just ignore us, and they have the power to ignore us.
Federal Reserve Board of Governors and the 12 presidents, the Federal Reserve banks have all been found guilty. They're waiting on a judgment and order.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, the only way to make real change is that it's got to get to the local level, and people need to educate themselves up, man. This is getting ridiculous. And stop letting other people manipulate them.
Yeah, I just posted a pic. There's a lot of different sources that have very similar stats. This one from Wikipedia. I posted a pic in the chat, but whites killing blacks 2%, whites killing whites 16%, blacks killing whites 81%, blacks killing blacks 97%. But 2% compared to 81% from this source, that is targeting an ethnic group that is racism, that is obvious as day. And I think the stats have to be pushed, and the arrests of whites versus blacks isn't even close. Whites are arrested much more than blacks because the cops don't want to touch them because they're going to be labeled a racist. So the black gets away with whatever he wants, and the white people get arrested for jaywalking. That's the issue we're having. So yeah, something does need to be done about it.
That was Jay. He's the one that started bringing all that up. He wasn't upset. He wasn't appalled. There has been no order to go kill black racist in any way. And then I start, what I do is I start bringing up ideas about the Continental Army and what we could do with a community outreach. So you'll hear this. That was even talked about by a preacher. Y'all remember that? I can't remember his name. Black preacher. He says, y'all need to stop messing with the white people. They're gonna raise up one day.
Yeah.
I think it was that guy that didn't like Barack Obama or something that went after him. My wife had a beat down at the Hot Biscuit having dinner with my two babies. No one helped her by 14-year-olds. Crips, 1994, Atlanta, Texas. Yeah, you never forget stuff like that, guys. And when that happens, you never forget it. That causes shit forever. Maybe that can be the sole mission of the Continental Army, is to solve this problem. You solve that problem, Continental Army is going to be around for a long time. What do you think?
Yeah, I think a campaign that lets them know, hey, if your kids are being pushed into this violence because they're juveniles, and if they're involved in killing somebody like this, that then your whole family gets a visit, and you must it's an eye for an eye, and no one's going to know about it.
And there it is. And no one's going to know about it. Your family's going to get a visit. Go ahead.
He's our best witness.
Thank you. And that is Jay. Nobody's going to know about it. So he wanted to set up a secret Gestapo. He never got an order for that. No one gave him any orders. I'll keep going. And I try to lighten it up a little bit and say, yeah, we need to do some community outreach. Or a secret visit. I never said that. Jay said it. So where was the order, you lying ass some bitch? You're the one talking about visiting Black families in secret and intimidating them. I didn't say a thing about that. I didn't agree with it. Tried to move it to a different direction here. Okay, we're going to the dark world. So that's a lot different than listening to him say, I was appalled. What did he say? Go out and kill Black people? I never said that.
Taken care of, and no one knows who did it, but the whole family is has to pay for what the child has done. Now that sounds a little radical, almost as radical as targeting white people and shooting them in the back for doing nothing.
And there you go. He's trying to justify it now. Then tries to turn that over on me that I did that. Jay said it.
No, it's not as radical as the other way around, because what I believe that these guys are trying to bait us into is accepting to charge a 14-year-old as an adult. So as soon as that 14-year-old is allowed to be charged criminally as an adult, then that also means that a 14-year-old can consent to sexual activity as an adult. They're trying to bait us into accepting pedophilia by charging that 14-year-old as an adult. You're absolutely right, Jay. It should be the damn family, the grandparents, the parents that we go after, not the child.
Why don't we start contracting out with families in these neighborhoods using the Continental Army as their security?
It's a great idea.
See
Kinda
how
like start a neighborhood watch, but with the Continental Army.
right there. See how I was kind of directing it out the other different way? I was going, you guys are crazy. That's what I'm thinking in my head. You guys are nuts. That ain't going to work. That's criminal activity. So I'm thinking, let's go in a different direction here. Yeah, and they get paid. There you go. They get paid by the people to do it. To walk around and watch this out. There's a video here. Hold on a second. Can I get share screen, please? Did y'all see this? Some months ago, white students were asked by their teachers to mingle with blacks so as to fight racial injustices and create a harmonious world of race integration. This was the result. It's 4 seconds long. Looky there, guys. This is all the black kids beating on white kids. Okay. Continental Army needs to stop this shit now.
Well, the only issue is we don't want to feed into their strategy, which is a civil war.
We'll just
We're gonna-
protect them and we'll contract. If we stick with contracts, we're good. That the people are contracting with the Continental Army to do the job. So they can sleep at night. We'll get a lot of, we can hire a lot of private guys to do this, security, the whole thing.
Yeah, well, once it's published and things start to get, you know, the people that are doing this, the racists that are behind this, you know, when they start getting the word comes out and there's video footage of, you know, the whole family having to, you know, face the consequences of this racist act by the kid, then at that particular point, the word will get out, because now you'll have a lot of people scared and talking about, like, who the hell did this? Well, the kid shouldn't have killed Whitey. And now you have that whole situation. I mean, it's just going to take some time, but the word will get out and people will know that they're not exempt from that, and they're going to have to pay for what they've done.
So he knows exactly what I mean. The Continental Army needs to stop this. We can go ahead and do private contracts with private, you know, using the Continental Army as security, doing neighborhood watch stuff and all that to watch over this. Okay. So when they do that, they see what's going on, they can call the cops. That's what I was talking about. You can see that he knows what I was talking about. That's the second lie. He's the one talking about showing up at black people's houses where nobody knows about it. I never said that. I started trying to steer it towards the other, and I said the Continental Army needs to stop this. Now, that wasn't an order. That was this. These are usually in these national assemblies. These are what they call political speeches, just like you have in Congress, your U.S. Congress. We're talking about an issue. We need to come to a solution. And the conversation goes all over the place. So I'm trying to find something for the Continental Army to do. I thought this would be a great idea, that we could privately contract with them. And out there, the uniform is out there. The seal is out there that they've stolen, by the way. And they can show that, hey, these guys aren't so bad. They're helping everybody out. They're trying to stop all the killing. And guess what? After this speech here that I was making in the National Assembly, it all stopped. Huh, go figure, right? Here's some more. It shows you that he knew exactly what I was talking about. And he realized, I think, that no, we're not talking about going in secret and meeting family. We're not KKK, idiot, you know? Right. So we've got to get, in other words, if people start hiring the Continental Army to solve this problem, and we can, It says you should show the video of the white female Uber driver getting beat up by the ghetto bitches. Which one was that? I didn't know. You got that video? Just so people on this call know how important this shit is. And this could be you next. There's no fixing. I'm trying to tell you, once that happens, once you get beat down by a bunch of black people, you are not going to recover. You will always, for the rest of your life, be leery of them, no matter where you go or what you do. It will be in the back of your mind.
That actually happened to my niece a few years ago. She was actually attacked on the last day of school by 3 black females. And she was actually told by the ringleader of this little, I guess, posse, if you want to call it, that she was not black enough to wear braids. So they beat her up for it.
Not black enough to wear braids. Well, that sounds intelligent.
Yes, very. And it put my niece in the hospital with blood head trauma. And ever since then, she does not do well with people, anybody. And she's nice, but she doesn't interact.
Oh, it's in the back of your head.
Yeah, it stays there. And, she's 21 now, but it scars you. To see those pictures of what they did to her, it's so stupid.
Well, it's a good idea to attempt with the Continental Army to build, relationships in these communities to further the continental dollar, the idea of laboring money into existence for community communications, building, training, whatever it is. Organization for, physical fitness and, these different areas of training that.
See, Kevin knew what I was talking about. He knew exactly what I was saying.
That the Continental Army can employ these people to do some community, real community organizing and show the difference between just being thrown a pittance or an EBT card from the difference between the EBT programs and actual job training and work with pay.
Right. The Continental Army needs first of all, money to bring in for the people to be in the military. It's a militia type situation. For more uniforms, more guns, more stuff that we need. And we need to perform a community service that the police are not. And
why, Keith, why not let the Continental Army furnish the patches to go on the uniform, and each one of the militia members buy their own uniform? That's the way it was set up in the original.
yeah, I know that. No, it's not what I'm talking about. We need they need to feed their families if they're going to be out there patrolling and doing stuff. So they need to get paid for what they're doing. They can't just go out there voluntarily. That's what I'm talking about.
I got no objection to being paid for it. Like I said, though, they can buy their own uniform because the Continental Army does not have finances right now to buy for them.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. So if we can get something like that done, I'm gonna keep concentrating on it. Jay, if we can start turning things around a little bit, some of the other things we need to deal with the issues that at hand that are the most important. If you know what I mean.
Yep.
Because we're not going to get anywhere with this unless we have some kind of, you got to get the support of the people, and we can get the support of the people based on what's going on here. If the NAMP says, yes, we're with the Continental Army and we support what they're doing, they're having maybe events and stuff like that put together for people to air their grievances, as into what the hell is going on type thing. The T-ROH show can balance it out with what needs to be done.
Also, one of the issues that I've been hearing of lately, and this is not a color issue, but more of a poverty issue, is that during the COVID, people were told they
Okay,
don't
folks.
have to pay rent, they don't have to pay.
That's all I was talking about. NAMP doing events, not going to the parents' house privately, get a little visit, and no one needs to know that they were there. I steered that right back to, no, idiot. That's what I'm thinking. No, idiot. That's not what I'm saying. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. He was the only one that said it. He was the only one. Talk about Javon Spreck. He was the only one that brought that out. I never insinuated. I didn't even go close to something like that. And nobody heard an order, go out and kill black racists. Go out in the street and kill black racists. That's not what I said in any way, shape, or form. So Javon Spreck lied to everyone about what happened. You just heard the video. That's the proof right there. You all heard it. Now you need to acknowledge the thing, because that's where the basis of his propaganda began. The very first video was, let's make Keith a racist. That way, everything else that I don't have proof of will just go by the wayside, and I can slander him with that. But first, we got to establish that he's a racist. The only one that was a racist on that call was Javon Spreck, because he's talking about secret Gestapo. We'll give the family a visit. Nobody needs to know about it. Old mafia style. Did anybody hear anything different? Because that's what I heard.
Nope.
And I tried to steer him back, and I said, no, Jay, I'm talking about like patrols. The neighborhood, you get to each neighbor and stuff and pay him, pay the man $5 a night to, I'm talking about each, to patrol the neighborhood, to keep a watch. Nothing wrong with that. That stops all the issues because somebody's watching. Okay. They've already taken all the money away from the cops. It's got to be, in order to bring order back, you've got to make a change. So that's all it was. And then, so what did old racist Paula Sullivan do? You mean we have to go to the ghettos? Because in Paula's world, all black people are in ghettos. That's a racist statement. Highly racist statement. And that's that's the typical white woman Paula type that uses emotion to manipulate men. On that call, Jay's saying, we spend 14 hours a day. Why are you spending 14 hours a day with a married woman, buddy? On a call. What's going on between you two? If my wife was spending 14 hours a day with a man on a call, I'd be a little concerned. You can get what you need done in 4. All right. Everyone that in Jay's little camp over there, you all owe me an apology. I did not say those things. What you got was a lie from Jay and Paula. That's what you got. And then they've been propagandizing that since, that same lie. You just heard what was said. All that came from Jay. And when I said the Continental Army needs to stop this, that was not an order to go out and kill. That would have been a very specific order.
He
You
made
need
it
to
very
take,
clear
yeah,
of
you
who he
go ahead.
wanted to kill.
Yes,
He made it very clear who he wanted to kill.
yeah.
And I was wondering how I was still here, considering he wanted to get rid of Black people.
So I steered it back. No, back off a little bit, buddy. That's not what this is about. He doesn't understand when things are being said on the National Assembly. A lot of those are political speeches, stuff like that we need to address, issues we need to address, stuff like that. That really is not an order. Nothing's been done. There was no motion to the National Assembly for the Continental Army to go out and kill Black racists. There was nothing there. All it was in the political speech was, hey, we can defend ourselves too. We can do the same thing if you guys want to play this game. We harass you just like you harass us. It can happen both ways. We don't want that. I didn't want that. I don't want to sit and harass people. It's a pain in the ass. I don't really, it's ridiculous. It's childish. We can all sit and talk. We can have, little meetings and stuff like that in the cities to everybody. Let's stop talking to city council because they're not going to do anything. They're all New World Order. Let's talk to ourselves. Let's have the Continental Army members keep the peace. If the sheriff wants to be there, bring it in. If everybody wants to be there to air their grievances, to find out what's going on so it can be solved. We're just trying to solve a problem. That's what political speeches are. Essentially, the National Assembly is the Third Continental Congress. We have chain of title to everything. Jay doesn't know what he's talking about. Paula is just twisting things into something else so she can virtue signal everybody. I'm just wonderful and I'm this. And please just stop saying my name. Paula Sullivan, you stop propagandizing and messing with us. We'll stop saying your name. Go away. You already said you're not a part of the Continental Army, but you're going under captain, whatever. That's just a title. You're no captain of the military. And Jay, you're no commander. Neither one of you are. Jay's an army brat, and she's just some a woman that's been pampered by her freaking husband that thinks that she can control everybody because it works on him. So nobody cares what your husband did in 2004. We cared about what he did to us. That was it. Now give a shit what he's done. And I'm saying if you work for the Bank of America and you're working for Lloyd's of London, you're a traitor, because that's exactly what those are. Bankers. Those bankers are the ones that stole our biological property. They're the ones that stole everything from us and continue to steal. And you help them. That's a traitor. Then you want to say, oh, well, I'm not a part of anything like that. Yes, you are. You're lying. And Jay's lying about me being some kind of racist and some kind of dictator and everything else. In that meeting, did anybody hear me sit there and give dictatorial orders to everybody and everybody needs to shut up while I'm talking? I wasn't acting like some asshole dictator. Everybody had a say, and we're all discussing what the issue needs to be and what we need to resolve. And guess what? Now we can't resolve it because Jay freaking lied to everybody and said that I was given orders to go out and kill a black racist. Because of that lie, we're behind 6 months to a year and even solving the issue. We have to rebuild the military and start over again and start running contracts with people and things like that as security and stuff, not some militia going out and being taken over by the Continental Army, and we got one commander and everybody's going to listen to a commander. It's like, give me a break. The guy's a friggin' army brat, which means he's never been in the military. And he's over there wearing a beret. How stupid can you be? So here's his plan. Let's go over to the National Assembly and start mentioning that we're going to go to black people's family's house, and we don't want anybody to know about it, and we're going to intimidate the shit out of them. That's how he handles it. How I handle it is you have an event where everybody can talk it all out and enter in their grievances. And we have a mediator and everybody talks out the problems. That's called peace. His idea is you want to follow him and his militia. You're gonna go to people's houses and you're going to intimidate them to get them to do the right thing. Like Gestapo. And nobody's going to know about the visit. Nothing on record. That's out of his mouth, folks. And that's it. So smear me as some kind of racist, come up with a bunch of other stupid shit that you can't prove, and try to stop what we're doing. You're doing it on behalf of the New World Order. Your husband already works for the banks. Like that doesn't make a difference. And then if we say anything, remember, we could be labeled communists and we can murder you. Does everyone see it? Because I know when this thing gets on Rumble, everyone's going to hear it out of Jay's mouth. Exactly what his intentions are with any kind of military whatsoever. The boy will turn directly into a Nazi. A racist Nazi at that. All right, I've said enough here. I'm tired of listening to these people. They're propagandizing things just so they can hide what they're actually doing. And guys, I don't even remember him saying that. I honestly, did y'all remember him saying that? I had to listen to the videos.
I didn't remember.
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, me either.
But he slipped it all in there, didn't he?
Yeah. But it's clear as day.
Extremely clear what he intends to do. He wants to build an army because he's always believed and dreamed that he's supposed to build, he's supposed to run God's army against the beast. But you can't do it without an enemy. So declare everybody a communist that want to go to peace with the same army. And that was right along with neighbor helping neighbor. Go lie to the army and tell them, hey, he's ordering us to do this. And so everybody's appalled. Oh, that's terrible. On that lie, then turn it around and do what they're doing now. Hey, take those. This is what he's trying to do to us. He says, we're not being intimidated. No, nobody's trying to intimidate you. We're just exposing you. And what he wants is he wants to intimidate us into, because that's why he keeps repeating himself, into taking those affidavits down. He don't want anybody to know who he really is. But he exposed himself that night, didn't he? And man, am I glad we record those calls.
Same here.
That's some cold, dark, calculated evil. That's the same thing Gestapo did. Go after your, because it won't stop with just black families. He'll go after political enemies. This was the making of Hitler. This is exactly what Hitler did. And this is Jay trying to use the Continental Army to do the same exact thing, to go after his political army, political enemies. So now everybody's exposed as to what this guy's doing. Folks, he's wearing a beret. He's not a Green Beret. Okay?
Just because your dad was military doesn't make you military, Jay.
That's right. You never went through basic training, which everybody did, even the highest general. You never did.
He's a wannabe that never signed up.
Pretty much, yeah. He should have signed up if he wanted to. You know, I mean, it's
He
only
should
8
have.
weeks.
He had his moment. He had his
could-
chance.
Yeah, he's too old now.
Yeah, he is.
He's just a wannabe. So now, folks, I hope you see the truth as to what's going on. You see all the propaganda from these people. I want to thank everybody for listening to the T-ROH show. Folks, I have been vindicated today. Okay. That's it. I never gave any such order. And he's the one that said all those things, not me.
And Jay and Paul, you're just as wrong with your accusations against our temple. And so we'll pray for you that you see that the following of the way is simply instructions to reconcile with the Father. So I'll keep you in my prayers that you also look at this and repent and seek the Father through the Son with your whole heart, mind, and being. Simple as that.
He needs to stop saying that I said it was a 15-foot Yahweh. I've never said that. And no, that's over the line, but I expect that out of a guy like this. He's got a dark heart, a really dark heart. He's the one that said those things. He wants to do everything in secret. Okay. Everything's public, Jay. You can't have everything in secret. You're looking for stuff that you would do. We're not doing that. And when we have calls that are private, it's because we have a Wednesday night call that's private. You've been on them. We've had, we have those, and we didn't realize we had a little goober in the freaking room that was going to misinterpret everything we're saying. That's why we're there, because we get attacked by people like you. So we can speak freely. We don't have to worry about people misinterpreting what we're saying and then go out there and lie to everybody. That's the purpose for that. But we really don't have to explain that to you. You have no authority here. You're not a commander of the Continental Army. You didn't prove chain of title break. You didn't prove anything that you're talking about. And you're just as dark as any Nazi that ever was. Go get a new family, buddy. Go get some friends. Okay, just put it away, because you're mocking Yahweh, bud. You're mocking our Father in heaven. You're mocking Elohim. You're mocking Jesus's Father. And you're lying. And you're propagandizing. And you have no proof of what you're doing. So you need to stop before it gets worse for you. That's not a threat. It means before you lose everyone from being around you. Everyone disassociates themselves with a guy like you. That's what I mean by it's going to get worse for you. Any of those yo-yos that freaking left, they all took their signatures away based on your lies. They could have had a freaking national status. The only way they could. You lied to them. And you told them. all this shit so they'd follow you, who doesn't have chain of title to anything, who is in fact a liar right there, your own mouth. And when you brought him out from there based on that lie, that's called trafficking in persons. That's exactly what you did. You lied to them. You told them they would have benefits as to where they were going. You said it would benefit them to remove their signatures from everything. You told them all this with stolen seals and everything. And you say backdating to the 19th is a fraud? It's not a fraud. That's when you guys decided to commit treason. Paula never resigned. She was fired. And I didn't fire her because she was a part of too many groups. I fired her because I knew what she was doing. I'm hearing report after report after report for the last 5 months of the bullshit she's doing. And I can tell because we've had another one just like her. Her name was Gail. Just like her, 2 peas in a pod, both twins that were going around trying to take over. She had no intentions of doing what she was told to do. She lied straight to my face many times if I talked to her. I had to stop talking to her because her husband got all jealous because I was joking with her. I stopped joking with her. I thought I could, but I couldn't. And he got all jealous. Hey, man, you mess with my woman, upsetting her, trying to embarrass me and everything else. And Dan's a little punk. He got jealous. Hey, don't take my master away. She's my master, not yours. I was like, Dan, dude, seriously, man. No attraction there, bro. Just letting you know. It's all yours. Trust me. She's all yours. Couldn't even joke with a woman. Couldn't even, have a friendship or anything. They just weren't like that. And Paula Sullivan, we will use your name as often as we want. It's real simple. You guys just need to walk away. That's it. Give it up. Anybody else? I gotta go. I would like to go. I think we made our point. Okay, guess not. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Appreciate it, and thank you, Kevin, for bringing this recording forward, and Jen, so we could listen to it and find what's really going on. Thank you for listening, folks. We'll see you next time.